flashy party," Louisa added, a hardness to her voice that stung Sabrina and caused anger to bubble in her stomach. "I know it's not going to be a bloody glamorous affair, and I don't bloody care. You know how much Nana and Grandpa mean to me. I wouldn't miss this for the world. I miss them, and I miss you all, and I will be on that plane tomorrow, so please give it a rest." She practically punched the copier to life and let out a frustrated sigh. She was growing tired of her sister's guilt trips over missing family affairs, especially when Louisa knew how hard she worked, and especially as Louisa knew she was busting her butt for their big sister Amanda's best friend, and not just some random pop act. Sabrina made a mental note to start adding pictures of the piles of paperwork and late-night sessions to her Instagram to break up the once-in-a-blue-moon flashy press events. Maybe this would appease Louisa. "We all miss you too, and can't wait to see you," Louisa whispered after a minute or two. Sabrina collected the photocopies and decided to call it a day. She picked up her pace, wanting to get back to her office and get home to pack. It had been months since she'd been home, and though she felt nervous about leaving her boys, she could do with a break. "Look, I'm sorry for getting snappy with you, but I'll be there, and it'd be nice if you believed me for once," she said, softer now. As she walked past Lydia's office, she noticed the light was on. It hadn't been on earlier. She had thought Lydia had gone home for the day. Squinting her eyes and sending a quizzical look through the glass, she noticed Lydia was not alone, and her breath caught. "Is everything okay, Brina? I'm going to head to bed now. It's pretty late here," Louisa said. Sabrina tiptoed into her office as quickly and quietly as she could and gently closed the door behind her. She steadied her breath to answer Louisa. Sorry. Yes, Lou, I'm fine, and gosh, yes, please get some sleep. It's already morning here. I love you, and I'll text you tomorrow." "Okay. Love you, Brina," Louisa said before putting the phone down. Sabrina placed her phone in her bag and shook her head. She needed to pull herself together. She was being ridiculous. Tears pricked her eyes as she gathered her belongings and dashed out of her office. Without glancing back at Lydia's window, she took the lift to the ground floor. When the doors opened, she marched to the huge glass doors and swung them open with force, letting the cool LA breeze graze her warm cheeks. She felt ashamed for her dramatic performance and scolded herself for allowing Lydia to get to her so much, but this had been the final straw. Lydia could boss her around, criticize every move she made, and talk down to her all she wanted. It was business. It was work. But to mess with her heart in this way was beyond ruthless. How could she work for such a horrible woman? It was Lydia who had warned Sabrina to stay clear of dating clients. The company didn't tolerate it, and Sabrina was asked to promise that she would not date any member of San Francisco Beat. This rule, however, had only come into play after Lydia had heard that Levi and Sabrina had got rather close at the band's album launch party 2 years ago. Sabrina had never heard of it prior to the event, and Sabrina hadn't intended to be unprofessional, but it just sort of happened. Naturally, she had pulled away from Levi, worried about being taken seriously, scared that she would get in trouble, that she was breaking rules. How silly had she been to throw away what she and Levi had? And for what? There hadn't been any rules then, but now Lydia had gone and created and enforced those stupid rules. And she'd made it abundantly clear that when one of the boys dated, it should be with a fellow star, a model, an actress, someone who could raise their profile, someone who was definitely not Sabrina. She dragged her feet along the sidewalk towards her apartment. How could she have been so naive? Of course, Lydia had only been jealous. She had wanted Levi for herself. Sabrina realized this, but it was too late. The image from moments ago now burned in her brain. Lydia, with her arms wrapped around Levi's neck, falling with him onto the couch in her office. Sabrina shuddered. She didn't know what hurt more, the fact that this woman hated her so much, or that she had thought Levi had felt the same way she had that night they kissed. Who was she kidding? What guy waited 2 years for someone? She didn't live in a fairy tale.